I should have got up a little bit earlier and filmed the farmer ploughing this field, because I know you like things like that. Oh, look at that! There's a scary image, isn't it? Yeah, let's not look too long at that. There's a bit too much prosperity going on with the old belly, I think. Never mind. The soil here. I watched him, and the camera was on charge, and the chip was still in the computer. And he dug his plough in, and it took a little bit of oomph to get the tractor to start moving, but once it was moving, this just turned as sweet as sweet. However, that's a digression. What's the plan for today? We actually do have a plan today. Whether it's stuck to, another question. Going to go to a place called St Briac, and I apologise for any of you that know how to say it. That's what it looks like. And one of the things that has struck me around this part of Brittany is everywhere you look there's a little town named after a saint that I've never heard of. So yeah, today St Briac, we'll go and see what that's all about. Now, the funny thing is, I'm still trying to work out what town we're actually in. I think this is Binnick, I think. But there's a very quick way to find out. Now sadly, every town in France, and most towns in all of the Western world, is obliged to have a war memorial to remember what we sometimes refer to as our glorious dead. The French have these wonderful memorials because of course they lost so many in 2 world wars and plenty of other wars besides. So here we are, and there's a memorial to the glory of the children of Binnick, that's where we are, who died for France 1914-1918, and there's a soldier to the left and a sailor to the right, and then lots of names, and sadly of course lots of names for 1939 to 45. And a sailor who died on the frigate La Place in 1950, and 3 chaps that died in the wars in Algeria. And it was erected by public subscription. Right, time for coffee. Now this is a town, seaside resort, that I had never heard of. Binnick in Brittany. It's on the north coast, but what a beautiful beach. Obviously a very popular harbour. I think I can see why. Well, Satnav Sue was getting very excitable just now and saying, "Don't go that way." But she really hasn't got the idea that we're tourists and we wanted to come this way. And if we'd followed the directions, we would never have found this delightful little cove. So next time Satnav Sally starts screaming and shouting at you, just tell her where to go, eh?
In 300 meters, at the roundabout, take the second exit onto Boulevard Jean Guéhenno, D786.
This is again one of those places that everywhere you turn round you sort of think, oh, you know, wow, you think. There's just way too much to see. I think that's a visit after lunch place, I think. Now, people who make model railways need to look at things like this. How do you build a house, a model house, with bends and twists in it like that? That's quite something, isn't it? I'd be scared to own that, because you're sort of looking at it thinking, how much more can it sag before it just sort of gives up? I guess it's been there a few hundred years. What I was saying about too much to see, I'm going to swing round to my right, and I think the wind is probably going to kill the camera or kill the recording, but yeah, just stay with it.